All sports, all plays, ball courts, pump fakes, crossovers, it's a motion. All sports, all plays, ballparks, home base, miss that speed by, that's 3 strikes. We know what's happening in the league. All sports, all plays, ASAP. Cause we know what's going down with your team. We'll bring you up to speed ASAP. Not talking about Rihanna's baby daddy, it's the network covering every play that's happening in the ring, on the field, on the courts, on the lane. We gon' cover the game, all sports, all play. All sports, all plays, ball courts, pump fakes, crossovers, it's a motion. All sports, all plays, ballparks, home base, miss that speed by, that's 3 strikes.
What is going on, everybody? This is episode 1 of season 3 of the greatest show in the combat sports industry, Throwing Hands. I got my boy James. What's up, my brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Happy New Year
Sore,
to
a
you.
little tired. Yeah, Happy New Year. You do anything special?
No, man. For New Year's
relax.
itself, no. Yeah, we took it easy. What about yourself?
Pretty much the same. You know, I've actually started playing video games a little bit recently. I will confess, it's been fun, kind of de-stressing. So that's pretty much all that I did on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, weren't you saying you were like swimming around underneath the sea or something deep?
Yeah, I've been playing Subnautica. That game trips me out because you're just in the ocean and you're just traveling around, doing all kinds of stuff, building bases. Like if you want to know what it is to have a fear of the ocean, just play that game and just dive straight down.
Yeah, I'm good. River monsters and all that stuff is good enough for me. Man, but I'm excited, man. Season 3 last year was crazy. We had so much happen last year. We took it to, throwing hands to a whole new level. Did a lot of coverage. We talked about wanting to expand in the commentary. We did that. We've hosted pay-per-views now. So I'm glad to see what season 3 of Throwing Hands, the show, turns into, and then what, the group. We've added people to our roster. We got a team now. So it's dope, man. Dope. I'm excited.
Yeah, I've been enjoying a lot. It's really cool to see. Now it's like a little new intro that we got now with that. It's pretty cool the fact that we were able to just bring everything together for 2023, and now we're just heading in strong. I see our boy Isaac over here. Let's go for the slug or not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like he said, for the slug or not, we have a special guest tonight to kick off episode 1 of season 3. And I mean, we got to do it right.
We most certainly do. And hey, let me tell you something. This guy is a savage, catching you with a Muay Thai kick on a flick and make you flip. Your lip is split, rocked your ass and made you sick. Welcome to the syndicate. I heard he is equipped to break your teeth now with his fist. So just toss the mitts and call it quits. Rest you'll go down with a broken nose and broken bones. Stuck on the floor, you got beat with your daddy's saxophone. He'll switch levels and change the flow and throw some change. You're left deranged in a takeaway. Crack your ankles in a breakaway. You're bruised in pain without the gains. Just save your brain. Your body be wrapped in a parcel, getting mailed out from Vegas to Carson. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a marksman, as he's the one and only Jonny the Slugger, not Parsons. What's going on, my guy?
Hey, what an intro, and what if nice work right there.
Hey, we got to do it right, especially too with you being the first guest of season 3. We got to make sure we take great care of you.
Yeah, man, you got away with words.
Thank you, I appreciate it. How you been, man?
How was your holidays?
Man, it was real good, real mellow, but maybe slacked off a little too much, and it's been pretty busy the past couple weeks. So
yeah, congratulations! I heard you had a wonderful Christmas. So So congratulations to you on that.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, it was definitely caught her off guard. Was able to propose to my lady, and it was it was nice. It was definitely nice.
Yeah, definitely congrats, man. That's awesome. I'm happy for you.
We're actually headed to Thailand first thing tomorrow morning.
No shit, really?
Yes, sir.
Hey,
So how
that's
did that come
crazy.
about?
We wanted to do it for a while. We had been planning it and kind of pushing it out, and it's now or never.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Nice.
man, it's crazy too. I mean, you obviously you're all in with fighting and everything, but now you got the kids. That's the last time we seen you. You had your two youngest over at PFA, and man, let me tell you, the youngest is a character. He is a superstar already. They say superstar in the making. He's a superstar walking.
Yeah. Oh man, that was so incredible to see. Because no one told him to do any of that. That's just him, and and that's what he's just been inspired to do.
That's awesome. I remember when I was in the back recording the interview with Kyler when he was doing it, and then your boy did the little dance like that. He's got a personality. I love that. So I'm really excited to see him fight again.
Yeah, well, we'll be back later this year for sure.
Hell yeah.
Bringing
Hell
the
yeah.
heat, bringing the
Yeah.
slugs.
Exactly. Syndicate
So
MMA especially.
yes,
Yeah, we got a lot of guys training over there, but to be honest, I'm not coaching there anymore, and I'm in the works
Oh.
of starting up my own gym, so I'm really excited for that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah.
But
No, so I
even though
mean,
I'm still supporting the all the guys that I coach, I'm still supporting them. Most of them are still training at Syndicate, and I'm always going to have their back. And any help they need with getting fights and kind of organizing the career side of things, like I'm here to help them.
Nice. That's really cool. That's what I love about the community is how close knit you guys are.
yeah. So you said you're gonna start your own gym?
Yes. I don't want to reveal too much because it's gonna be something special. A lot of people think you know they may have heard whispers of Paradox Fight Club, but that's kind of something in itself. That really isn't a place. It's more of a state of being in a way that you can help your brothers fight for their mental health. But as far as when I start a gym, it's gonna be a business. It's gonna be legit. I'm still gonna be using Paradox Fight Club to help people use fighting as a way to boost their mental health. But my gym's gonna be something of itself. It's gonna be a business, and it's gonna be successful.
That's awesome. That's really cool how you give it the take on mental health because what especially is awesome about combat sports and just training is the fact that the type of self-discipline and then at the same time a self-love for yourself to see your progression and you become stronger and more capable.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, life gets hard sometimes, and you got to fight for it.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's crazy too because we always talk about how some of the greatest fighters, they come from challenged backgrounds and come from adversity. You got to be able to have gone through some things to be able to reach that deep.
Yes, of course.
So Johnny, just for the guys, I mean, for those that don't know, I mean, it's very hard. But what got you started? What really turned your motor as a youngster and got you going in this direction of where you're at today?
I've always been competitive, and I've always been into like martial arts and stuff. Like, grew up watching, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, those kind of martial arts movies, and even Power Rangers. They be kicking some butt too. So definitely, grew up watching a lot of Power Rangers, and they got some moves. And you know, growing up, especially, there's a period of time where I had gained some weight, and I wasn't really in the. I used to do BMX racing, and I really wasn't in that sport to get respected for my skills on the track. And I kind of was like in this in between spot, you know what I mean? And I think of being overweight in school and stuff. You get teased a little bit. Nothing crazy. I was never like bullied or anything, but like between my groups of friends, like I got teased a little bit. I kind of wanted some respect. And as we got older and you know what I mean, we're bored high school kids. We start throwing on the boxing gloves. You start to see, who can throw hands. And I kind of, I'd be lying if I didn't say, I kind of got a rush from being kind of able to prove myself throwing hands and kind of get respect from that. And so, I kind of got addicted to that. And, different times where, I had to stick up for people or, getting some like street rumbles. I was always, ready to throw down and that got me a lot of respect. And so I would say if there's definitely one thing that I really liked about martial arts is the respect part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially like when you see situations where like you have outsiders or people off the streets that come in and they just think that like their shit don't stink and they just can do whatever they want when they step into the gym. When you violate the standard of respect in the gym, it's a whole different battlefield, because for you guys to be able to go in there, train, trust yourselves and each other enough to not kill yourselves, but to push yourselves to develop your skill set. And so that's why respect is one of the biggest things.
I feel like the gym environment is great is because it's opportunity for fake people to be exposed, but then at the same time, the opportunity for someone to become real.
Yep. I like that.
Because it pushes you to doors, to open doors you never opened within yourself, but it also closes doors that you thought you had opened as well.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. And did you have like any? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, James. Go ahead.
I had a gym because I was looking through. I wanted to find. I was going back to Alex Delgado, one of the first fights that she had, and I was trying to find a clip on that fight. And instead of finding a clip on that fight, I actually stumbled upon a gym. It was Chris Shirley spinning back fist back in, I think it was like 2012.
Yeah.
You
back
remember
in
that?
My lightweight days, 55.
Yes. It wasn't
I
even
didn't
listed.
start having a mullet till 2013. So 2012, that was pre-mullet.
Oh, damn. That's the classic time.
Hold on. So I'm going to actually put this up here. Give me a second. Here.
Sorry, Chris. I hope you're not watching.
Hey, it's the love-hate relationship with the sport.
We're buddies now. We train together. We've trained together at Syndicate in the past, and we're still friends. He was actually over at my house recently training. We trained in my garage together. So,
hey, that's nice. See, that's also
it's
the
crazy
cool part
too.
with it.
Right. All right, so here it is. So let me add it.
Yeah, but I've watched it a lot of times too.
Wow,
so hey,
collapses him like a folding table. Does Parsons with that kick?
That's the third time we've seen Parsons drop Shirley with a low kick. That's power.
Yeah, he's landing on the side of
low kicks are still
behind
vicious.
the knee, and he's just collapsing the leg. There it is, right there again.
Oh, with the spinning back fist.
Oh,
that was a good one. That was a good one. It's crazy too, because when you start researching to try to find old stuff and you stumble across something that you weren't even expecting to find, but it was just great. Some of your early days, because getting the slugger knot, what was it like coming up and having those streaks of getting knockouts and those win streaks that you were having so early on? How did that? You're talking about respect and that confidence that gives you. How did that help you out early on in your career with that?
Yeah, it definitely helped me out, but I always kind of knew that I was a little bit higher level than some of these people that I was fighting. So like I didn't give myself too much credit. I honestly wish I could have fought more as an amateur. I actually went pro on accident 10 years ago when I was in
Really?
Thailand. Yeah. So
How did that happen?
yeah, they're just they're pretty persuasive out there. And they, one night my trainer, he came home because he was a referee at a local stadium. He came home and he said, "Hey, MMA?" And I'm like, yeah. I was like, "I'm an MMA fighter. That's what I do." And he's like, "You want to fight tomorrow?" And I was like, "All right, let's do it." You're asking, if you knew me, you'd know that it wasn't a question.
Man, that's crazy. So with your amateur career, you only had what I think it was what I saw on Tapology, one fight as amateur.
Yeah, that's probably not up to date. I was 4-1 MMA,
Oh, okay.
and then 6-1 in amateur Muay Thai.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. See, we gotta get Tapology updated.
I'm from the old school days, man. Not everything was,
Was recorded.
the records of some of these fights are probably on a paper in a folder at some old guy's, closet.
Yeah. Yeah, but that says a lot, though, especially for your own skill set. I mean, and when you say that you accidentally turned pro, and then ever since then to have so much success as you've had, 7 knockouts, and especially like when you fought in UFC, you got that second round finish. That was just nasty.
Yeah. That was great, man. That was like a dream in there, and partly it felt like a dream because I didn't really sleep very well. Didn't really sleep very well that whole week, so my whole post-fight, interview is kind of cringy, but I just was so tired and I didn't know what to say. And, I don't know. Bisping just kind of has this weird energy and he just made me nervous.
No, but especially
I just was tired.
Oh, damn. But no, it's especially too going into that last week at camp, there's always some type of nerves, especially when you're coming UFC or if any other situation where it's just like you're getting your stride with it.
Yeah. So what would you? Because you, like you said, you're a bit from the old school with fighting. I mean, we've seen like evolution, like legit evolution of fighting, and you were smack in the middle, I believe, of kind of the popular MMA was there. They're kind of taking over the TV stream, is getting that national takeover feeling. So how do you feel the game has evolved and where we're at today versus kind of when you came in as an amateur?
Definitely I feel like the amateur, the amateur circuits are great now, and there's so many avenues for, more prestigious, amateur titles. For example, one of my students, Isaac, he made it to Team USA for the WBC Muay Thai tournament. So, that allowed me to apply as a coach. So I got selected. So I'm going to be coaching for Team USA, WBC Muay Thai. Wow. And he earned this opportunity through fighting amateur Muay Thai. So it's great to see, the sport growing.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, how do you feel, especially too, with the recent progression, especially in 2023, and how it's expanding across the Western states?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great because it was growing before, and then we had that little bit of a hiccup for a couple years, but like now, slowly but surely, a lot of, places are getting back up to speed as far as holding regular events. But, I want to thank Arizona because they were one of the first ones. I think we were, I was bringing guys to fight in Arizona since, maybe 2021, so they got right back up to speed. And like, there used to be a lot of amateur fights in Las Vegas, and it just hasn't been on that same level for a few years now. So we're really blessed to have these opportunities to come down to, the Phoenix area and get to compete.
And you guys bring a massive crowd too. It's really cool to see like the spread out and how it's kind of bringing everything full circle with all the fighters that surround the area and what's popping up now with Arizona. So that's really cool, and we're excited.
Yeah, there's so many shows in Arizona going on all the time. You got two different sanctionings. You got the USMTA and the ISKA both holding fights, throughout the month. So that's great. Great for the sport.
Yeah. A lot of great promotions out here as well. And it's kind of like what you said, our region, with Nevada, California, a lot of fighters from Utah and New Mexico even now coming down here. It makes it a really strong nucleus for us to be able to do that and not just have the same set fighters fighting on a month-to-month basis as well. So that also plays a big part. It's I agree too. That COVID area kind of set back a little bit, but it also created a lot of new fighters that had been kind of uh, lingering around, but not really taking that leap of faith. And I felt like a lot of guys went ahead and took that leap of faith during that time period as well.
Yeah, technically, my win streak that got me into the UFC was between, 20, late 2019 to, 2021, 2022. So,
Yeah.
during that time, that's kind of when I went on my win streak.
Icon and then the Contender Series.
Yeah, Contender Series was still like, quarantine hotel and everything. So my Contender Series experience was kind of during all that, having to, test and be quarantined and things like that, kind of still trying to enforce the masks and things like that. So
how did that affect you, like going through the Contender Series, and now you're having to make all these extra accommodations like during the pandemic? Like, do you think like it like had a heavy impact on your training, on just the natural environment, what you try to go through when you're preparing?
I'd say for me, life didn't change too much. Besides the kids, having to do school on their laptop, I kind of was doing my thing. The gym was only closed very briefly, only for like a couple months. And during that time, we were doing a lot of garage training and things like that. And then even they had it when they weren't supposed to have anything open, there were still, some training sessions being held. And then, when gyms opened back up, they had all these silly rules. And we just kind of worked around them. And luckily everything worked out. We stayed pretty busy throughout all that. There was a handful of times we, had to have chins on our mask, just for show, during some classes. But for the most part, like, I don't know, everything was fine. I don't want to get too crazy in here, but like the only people that I knew had problems were people that went to the hospital. People that chose not to go to the hospital, they seem to end up being okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
There's a lot of that going on. I agree.
And then even now what's going on, people are like, be careful this, be careful that. And I'm like, man, ever since I can remember, there was a flu season. And around that time of year, people would get sick or whatever, and then they get better, and then we move on. But you had all this extra propaganda, and people get scared and they can't breathe. They want to go get on ventilators because that's how they're going to make money. A lot of people, mainly, they had COVID on their death certificate, but it was like physical pneumonia in their lungs that killed them. And you can look it up. Ventilator-associated pneumonia is like a common side effect for ventilator use. And they didn't have enough respiratory therapists. So you got a bunch of ventilators, people that aren't used to using them on people, probably contaminating bacteria and things like that. People are getting pneumonia, and you know what I mean? They're,
So,
yeah.
And especially during all that. Yeah, during all that time with, like you said, propaganda, and then just how scared everybody was. It just, like, with what your motive is with your gym, for example, it created or exacerbated issue with mental health because people were now trapped and stuck and they had no outlet. And that's how, like, now we're seeing a lot of fighters that started during 2021 for mental health reasons. And when I've had these conversations with them, it goes from a difference where before they started training, They were going through life, and then COVID hit, dealing with the lockdowns and how much stress and stuff they're going through. Then once they actually started training, then they just all of a sudden they found the rhythm. They felt like they had that release, because that's why, like, I could relate a lot with fighters. Like you said, you felt like you had an addiction to that rush. It's like you have that itch and you got to let that out.
Yeah, you know what's crazy now that I'm thinking about it, you're making me reflect on this, is that you know, I pretty much was coaching through the last 3 years, and I got to coach through all that, and I got to be a part of like so many people's martial arts journeys where you know they started the gym at one point, and a year into it, or for some people 6 months to a year into it, boom, we're going out and doing these amateur fights, and it's been so great to see all these students grow and prosper, and it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
now you're
when did
seeing the
you
talent pool really grow.
Yeah. When did you kind of transition to coaching full time, like being like a full time coach and cornerman and the whole nine?
I actually like the very first gym I started at, about after 2 years training there was a falling out with one of the trainers, and I got put on the spot like, hey, I need you to teach this class right now. It's like a fitness Muay Thai class, because we had like technical Muay Thai, but then they also like ran fitness classes at this gym. So he just like put me on the spot. Hey, I need you to teach this class. So I went out there and taught the class, and then the guy ended up leaving. I picked up all his classes and kind of started from there. Just kind of 18-year-old kid teaching fitness classes, and then also some kids classes, and kind of just always had my foot in the door since then. And this is kind of funny example I like to think about is growing up. I played a lot of like online video games.
Oh, that was me.
So like growing up, I always wanted to be like a leader of like a clan or like a guild. Like I played a couple games that are kind of similar to World of Warcraft or something like that, where like people make guilds and they play together, whatever. And I remember playing this one game, and I was running this guild, and then it started coming out that like I was just this 13-year-old kid, and I got like grown men, like kind of like I'm leading grown men in this video game, but really I'm just this 13-year-old kid. And it's just kind of a funny experience of like, I kind of had a big following for just like a split second. It was really starting to grow, and some older guy usurped me. Was like, dude, this guy's little 13-year-old kid. Start our own guild,
man. Oh man, the
I had a
overthrow
couple
happened.
people, I had a couple older people stay and like still keep playing with me and stuff, and hopefully they just weren't like any creepos or anything,
Yeah.
You just worked a 14-hour day, and you're like chilling.
You know what I mean? Like, what grown men are sitting there online playing World of Warcraft with 13-year-old kids? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So with Muay Thai, was that the original discipline that you started out in, or was that just the one that you tried the most?
Yeah, the gym I started at, basically my regiment was I would go to Muay Thai class, and then I do jiu-jitsu class right afterwards. And I did that for about 2 years straight, 5-6 days a week until I had my first fight.
Damn, that's a brutal schedule, especially when you combine the two, when the cardio tank is so different between the styles.
Yeah, definitely it's good, but I was learning more of like kind of like Brazilian style jiu-jitsu. So as I started getting more high level, I started to realize like, man, like it's hard to submit people off my back. I'd rather focus on being on top, doing sweeps and stuff. So I kind of have like my own little jiu-jitsu game that's evolved over the years, and I kind of don't stress too much about certain positions and certain submissions because it's a risk versus reward, and I know where I'm good, so I like to keep it there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So you just kind of were in the right place, right time type of situation for a lot of things, the coaching, the going pro thing. So you just kind of got thrown into the mix and just was naturally successful with it.
Yeah. So it's been awesome. I've been blessed with a lot of opportunities that like has shaped me into who I am. So it's great. Like I said, I went from trying to lead people in this fictional video game world where like really nothing means anything to actually out here fighting, doing things, coaching, leading a team of fighters, and they're winning as well. So it's like I used to be, really into, I think video games are great. I've beat a couple good single player games lately, but some of these grindy games, like for example, World of Warcraft, it's like, why put so much energy into that grinding for points? And, I got to get the next gear set. And, it becomes a chore. And it's like, you can spend all that time grinding in your real life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So kind of, it's crazy to see the transition.
I don't know about you, but on those grinding games, it always took me a little bit longer than everybody else. So as I'm finishing whatever the grind was for that quote unquote season, the new season's on its way out. So I stopped the grinding games because I never was able to complete.
It's hard, and it's kind of like almost like this mental trick where you're like, I gotta unlock this, I gotta do that, and like
there's only 5 days left. There's only 5 days left.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. So when I used to play at PlayStation, I used to platinum hunt and get all the trophies. There'd be a couple games where it'd take me like 6 months or so just to be able to get. But back when GameStop had that 7-day rule where you could return a used game and get your money back, I literally got the platinums for all the God of War games. Hell yeah. I got all the trophies for all the God of War games in less than a week and got all my money back. That was the OG days.
You're the reason those used games didn't work. That was the reason we were taking them back.
No, I'm the reason why they changed that policy.
That's funny.
Yeah. But no, it's really cool just seeing how everything is. And then, like you said, just translating from, okay, why am I continuing spending all these hours dedicated to video games when I can do it in real life and really push my limits and see what I could do?
Yeah, it's a funny joke I make with one of my students. His name is Nas, and another guy too, Cam. We kind of make jokes about like different types of gear for training, and so like in the video games, it's always like the name in white is like common, and then the name in green is uncommon, and then the name in purple is epic, and then the name in gold is legendary. So we'll make references to people's gear according to the the video game. Look at that guy's gear. He's got purple gear. He got blue level gear. Just kind of.
He ain't been searching long enough. His is white or whatever gray. Or
yeah. Like the people that got the cheap $40 Amazon gear, like, that's the white tier, the common tier.
Yeah. You see them buy Venom.
Right.
Now, you know what's great about Venom though? I'll say this. I know Venom, they give me some sponsorship money, but I'll say this about Venom is that they have a lot of tiers of quality. So whatever quality of glove that you want to get, they have options for you that are cheaper and options that are bougie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the Thailand thing, you leave out tomorrow. How long are you planning on being out there?
Our return tickets are April 16th.
Oh, okay. Nice. So you're gonna be out there for a minute.
Yeah.
Nice. That's pretty dope. And what's cool too is that there's a local fighter here in the Valley, Antonio Martinez. He's also going to Thailand tomorrow morning.
Oh, great. I wonder if he's going to be in that WBC tournament.
That's a very good question. I think he is actually training for that because he actually just decided to make this move out to Thailand. So he plans on moving out there Wednesday, and he's just staying there for as long as he can. So it'll be dope if you guys end up coming across.
Going out this Wednesday.
Yeah, tomorrow morning.
Cool.
You guys might be on the same flight.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you guys will link up while you're down there. That's the dope part about this community, man. I say it all the time. We've always talked about it on our show, man, that like you said, I just dug that up, the Chris Solly thing, and you're like, yeah, we talk about this to this day. You guys became friends, and you guys are friends now. And it happens so much in this community, and people are always you almost gotta branch out, because that's the way you learn in these different art forms and perfect it, is by, going with guys that have been and have that history, that experience to pass on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah. And what really is to kind of like throw more into that is really cool is the fact that it's so interwebbed together that you guys, like Antonio, you guys end up coming across each other in Thailand and to see how tight knit the whole community is and how it's just a small world, man. Like when you said Nas, you're referring Nas Worthy.
No, but I did meet
Ah,
him. Nasir Davis. He
oh,
Okay.
has his
okay.
Oh,
like Rage in the Ring days. So
That's right. I actually did interview him once. I remember that. That's why like that name peaked in my head.
yeah, he's had those he had a couple Razor close title fights on Rage in the Ring. So
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
So any fights, anything look you have on that out ring, kind of in the works?
man, kind of recovering from some injuries, but I'm starting to feel better. When I get out to Thailand, the goal is going to be, to become fight ready as soon as possible and kind of utilize the situation out there in the training. And there's a couple fights coming up. I just want to get you know, I'm almost to the point where like I'm about to just tell my manager like, hey, it'd be cool to fight at the end of March or April if possible, but there could be a chance because I had to pull out of the last one because of injury that I'm on the bottom of the list or something. But like the sooner I tell them I'm ready to go, the quicker that I'll get a chance to get matched. And then another thing too is that already this year it's already happening where guys are getting hurt and spots are opening up. So, I think it'd be really cool to make up for, having to pull out of my last one by being able to, save another fight or jump into another match where somebody, had to pull out. So trying to just get fight ready as soon as possible and be ready to jump back in there.
Yeah, that'd be really great. Especially too, like, we have UFC 300 right around the corner. So there's a lot of epic cards coming up. That'd be great for you to hop on, especially like 2024. I think is going to be a whole different breed of a year because this is where we see, like a lot of the vets in the sport, this may be like their exiting year. So there's going to be a lot more emphasis. So it opens up a lot of doors to really spread out and diversify who we see. And especially with your last performance, when you got that second round finish, like that's what excites me the most. So I'll be excited to see you back in the race app.
Yeah, I don't think I have the ability of having a fight, be any less exciting. I think it's only going to get more exciting from here. So, it's just one of those things. My defense and the way that I'm able to stand my ground, I feel like makes for exciting fights. I'm gonna let us clash before I'm spending a bunch of energy on footwork running away. So I think it kind of just we're gonna collide no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. And
You
a
know,
question I've been
and
wanting
that
to ask you. Oh, go ahead, James.
no, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna ask you this question because I want to hear what your origin behind it. How did you come up with the name Sluggernaut? The Sluggernaut.
Man, it's been a long time. It's always just been kind of like a little nickname. I think I think it was given to me. It wasn't like given to me, but like someone referred to me, as a Sluggernaut once, and it kind of stuck. And then there was one time where I was with another team, just training with another team, and we were doing sprints. And another coach was like, "Man, you're a juggernaut," because I was kind of heavy at the time, but still like sprinting fast. So they're kind of like, "Oh man, like you're fast," and they're like, "Oh man, you're a juggernaut when you're sprinting." And I was like, "Nah, I'm the Sluggernaut." And then another person heard that and kind of was like, was saying it, and there was actually my PlayStation screen name as well.
Hey, I love that. I love it. It's honestly a perfect nickname for you, especially with your style and just your gritness when it comes to fighting.
And then
Right.
what's funny is that my whole Sluggernaut line, like I think it was made after the fact. I kind of just was like, oh, slug or not. And I was like, man, when my opponents stand in front of me, they got an important question to ask themselves. Are they going to slug or not? I'm going to slug or not.
I
love it.
that.
So it's just like once I started saying that line to people, it just solidified it even more to the point where I'm trying to think of when the first fight was that they started calling me the slug or not. Oh, there was an interview, and I was trying to tell the interviewer about my second nickname, and it was like during COVID, so we were kind of separated, and they couldn't hear me through the mic, and they kind of went to the next question, and then I kind of like fumbled it, and I didn't get to say my line. And a couple fights later, I was getting interviewed by the same person, and they gave me the opportunity to set the record straight. And then pretty much from there, I was a slug or not. But my previous nickname was the Paradox.
Oh, so that's kind of where Paradox Fight Club kind of came from.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, that's what's so great about things. It's like you get a catchy name and you just find a bunch of reasons that support it, that kind of like relate to who you are as a person, and it can really help you get behind those names. And as far as the Paradox goes, I broke my foot in 2015 from an accident. I guess it was gym related in a sense. We were moving gym equipment, but we had an accident, and like I broke my foot and twisted my knee. And when I started training again, I had to switch my stance because my foot hurt. My foot would hurt really bad if it was the back foot and I couldn't put weight on it. But if I stood there with it as my front foot, I could have it like be more flat-footed. You know what I mean? On the rear foot, like the kind of heels up a little bit more, and you're kind of like trying to be springy. Like my foot couldn't work like that for a little bit. And then and that's when I kind of learned, like, oh man, I happen to have a lot of southpaw training partners, and pretty much I started to discover that the southpaw's weakness is another southpaw. And then in turn, I was able to do all my regular techniques that I would do, but reversed, because we'd both be southpaw. And that's the same thing as both people being orthodox. So I could pretty much use all my same tactics when I would spar southpaws, that if I was orthodox, I wouldn't be able to do those same combos on them against the southpaw. But because I was southpaw too, I could do all my regular go-to moves. And that's when I started to like learn a lot about angles and lining things up, and kind of taking advantage that the southpaws are used to fighting for the outside foot and stand a little more bladed. Because they stand a little more bladed, if I have the proper angle, it's hard for their punches to line up. And then it also just puts me in a good spot to crack them.
Damn, so it almost became like a blessing in disguise, because it forced you into a position where you had to adapt in a different stance.
Yeah, my first fight back after 2 years from recovering from that, I fought a southpaw in Hawaii at 185 pounds who was on a 3 or 4 fight winning streak, 1 fight away from getting into the UFC. And I knocked him out in the first round, pretty much doing everything I kind of learned about southpaw versus southpaw.
Hey, that's what's up.
So you're a quick learner and you adapt very well. It seems like you thrive in those type of situations.
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it really builds your notoriety too. Because like what me and James like to talk about a lot is what social media and internet does now for fighters, with your ability to negotiate pay, opportunity to be able to get sponsors, build your brand. Like it's perfect for you, like the slug or not. Get a shirt that says ready to slug or not. And that's just, that builds so much for you, and just diversifies what you could bring in, and really sets you on a great career path, and a good path for your family too.
One of the crazy parts about this year that I'm kind of waiting to see is what the TKO holding deal with the UFC and the WWE actually amounts to, because we've always talked about how the personality thing in fighting, it goes hand in hand, and I think that we'll probably see more of that this year than any of the past years we've had. like you were kind of saying earlier, yeah, you may not be on the top of their list at the moment because you had to pull out of a fight. But one thing that you always have on your side is the personality that you bring to the ring, as well as the excitement, the knockout finishes. Those things are going to trump you up the ladder, and they're going to push that as well.
Yeah, I believe that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So tell us, we like to always ask this question. Who was like, if you had a fighter in particular that caught your eye when you were a kid, who was a fighter that really inspired you, that to go on this route and that you maybe kind of mirrored a lot?
You know, a lot of the first inspiration comes from the Pride era, Pride
Ooh.
Fighting Championship. And, I'm a fan of a bunch of fighters from that era and a fan of a bunch of fights that happened in that era. But, as far as watching UFC and I guess WEC, we can include that too. I was really inspired by Jose Aldo.
Nice.
That's a really dope one. He's an OG.
Yeah. He was really, really, really exciting. And he really brought the UFC around, full circle during that time period as well. We always talk about the smaller weight classes and what they really brought to the UFC and its growth going forward.
Yeah, and as far as who kind of inspired me to go down the route of actually trying to fight for a living, with being in Las Vegas and training. Like I said, I was training for 2 years before I had my first fight, and you meet a lot of people in the city. You train with other people. You get opportunities to train with people that have a lot of experience. And very early on, I just by like getting opportunities to train with certain people, like I started to feel where I was at in the bigger picture and kind of know where I stood. And that's why, like I said, like early on my amateur fights, I have some finishes and things like that. As I in my Muay Thai fights, as I started getting higher up the ranks, I was winning more decisions, knocking out people less. But I was knocking people out less. But yeah, I got caught up on the side details. I don't even know what I was saying.
No worries. It happens to me all the time, man. I call my brain parts.
Right?
Yeah.
What was I saying? You guys got to help me out now.
No, but you were talking about how you were right, how you were just ranking up and fighting better opponents. You were knocking people out less, but I think you're moving in the direction you're doing more, bringing more to the ring.
Yeah, yeah, that's a comment what that I was going to make is that my confidence kind of came from being able to train with certain people and kind of know how well I do with them. And, maybe those people like, they were already fighting, they were already having wins and they were already growing. And I, knowing, how I perform against them, it's like, oh, well, if he's kicking butt, I'm being there kicking butt too. So I definitely had a lot of confidence of that, of like, man, these people that I'm fighting are not as good as the people that I'm training with.
That's the most important thing too about training. Like they always say, the hardest battle in a fight is just the lead up to it, because you're putting yourself in the constant state of failure and worst case scenarios during training, so that way when you're actually in the cage or in the ring, that doesn't happen and it becomes the best case scenario.
Yeah, and leading up into my win streak that got me into the UFC, I was definitely having like a lot of hard rounds. I would say leading up, into my win streak, I did a lot of rounds with Sean Strickland and Chris Curtis, and those guys, they really push the pace. They try to break you. They got good cardio. They're putting pressure on you. So, tons of rounds with those guys for about a year or so, and before they started training somewhere else. So I got to get a lot of good experience. Like I almost want to say, like, when I went on my win streak that got me into the UFC, I was like, oh, this is cake. This this ain't dangerous compared to like certain people that you could have in front of you. You know.
Yeah.
Was there a certain point where it kind of resonated with you? Like, all right, yeah, I know where I'm headed now. This is all right. It's destined. I'm on my way there. Was there a certain point that it hit? Was there a fight? Was there a moment in the gym?
Man, there's been a lot. You know, I almost want to say that having the talent and the skill has caused me to be at times the not the most hardworking person, maybe not the most disciplined, and that's why I wish I would have fought more amateur and maybe like fought some harder more competition early on, because then maybe I wouldn't have to deal with maybe being like so confident that I wasn't putting in the amount of work that I could have been. And,
Yeah.
And then a lot of that goes.
it took me, I've been pro since 2013. I've been training since 2009, pretty much 2008. And I didn't get into the UFC until 2021. So it's been a long road, and I think it could have went different had I worked harder, maybe put myself around the right people. But you can't change anything now, and it's like it's not too late, for me to start stretching and things like that. I'm a fighter, not an athlete. So I'm still working on the athlete side of things because things are starting to catch up to me now. But I got to start stretching more.
Yeah. Well, that self-awareness really goes far too, because we've seen throughout like the combat sports history where fighters, they often have a hard time breaking out of that, or they just never able to, and it causes an impairment on their kickback. But with you, the fact that you put a lot of emphasis on the mental health and the focus of your mental health and the discipline of it, the fact you're able to redirect it, and now you know how to correct and right your path and keep it that way, that's only going to serve as more potential, more capability for you to launch great success.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, and then not taking on that damage too, because we talk about now too how much of a thin line there is between pros and amateurs, and we've talked so many times about the question of when is it been too long of you being an amateur and it's time to kind of cross over so you're not taking all that damage early on. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a hard thing to kind of decide there as well. So real quick question for you. I always ask, what is your go-to meal after weigh-ins, after a weight cut? You got it done. It's time to load up. What's your go-to meal?
Man, I really love Thai food. I really love Thai food. So, I try not to get too crazy post weigh-ins, but I'll definitely put down, some Thai food. And I'm also a big fan of like Greek food, like Euro and things like
Love me
that.
some euros.
Nice.
Love me some euros.
Nice. And I wanted to ask it earlier in the interview because when you listed off all those movies that you were saying you grew up watching, but I wanted to ask, did you ever watch the Ong Bak movies?
Oh yeah, the Ong Bak movies were awesome.
Dude, that was my first introduction to like that entire side of combat sports. Bro, that is one of the most OG ones I love. Hello.
I got a ninja over right now.
Man, well, we definitely don't want to keep you too much longer. I know you got things to do. You're packing, about to get out of the country and stuff. Josh, we gotta ask the corner question.
The corner question? Okay. So if you could have anybody in your corner or part of your corner for one fight, they could be alive, dead, they don't even have to be in combat sports. They could be from anywhere else. Who would you want in your corner for one fight?
Man, the first thing that came to my mind, honestly, is Bruce Lee.
Hey.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we get a lot of Bruce and Muhammad. Bruce and Muhammad like lead the way. And it always depends on like what side of the most of our Muay Thai guys, most of our Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys go Bruce.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, but Ali's not a bad one either.
Yeah. Yeah. I
No,
love Bruce Lee's
That
energy though.
confidence, I wouldn't mind having that confidence in my corner.
Exactly.
right,
Exactly. But yeah,
right.
Bruce Lee, he's a badass because like the energy he'd bring, but he knows how to keep you calm. And I just that's a dope one. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. Man, Johnny, I appreciate you coming on, sharing some time with us, especially right before you jump out of the country. I know you got a long list of things probably sitting there ready to still get done. Um, you know, anybody you want to give a shout out to, say anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, I just want to shout out Champ X Meals for always helping out, myself and all my fighters with meal prep and things like that, and even helping us out with food when we're on the road. So Champ X Meals, shout out to you guys for always being supporters. Roebuck Law Firm, he's been a long time supporter as well. MCIT Solutions. They've also been a big supporter of ours over the years. So shout out to those guys. Appreciate your support. Also shout out to Yo Cow.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, hell yeah, we appreciate you, man. This was a great interview. I'm happy we brought you on.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah, great to be here. Really appreciate y'all.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yes,
man.
sir.
We're definitely excited to see how you're gonna be in 2024. It's definitely gonna be a banger, that's for sure.
Yeah, and
Yes, sir.
I'm definitely I'm hoping in the future we get to cover some more of the Parson Boys because that was dope. I'm looking forward to that as well, man.
Oh yeah, they're going to be training every day too. So you're going to see some, monsters coming back.
Hey, I bet your
Yes,
boy's gonna
sir.
come in with a new dance routine too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, because I'm gonna have them learn a real Ramoy while we're out there, and the complete sealing of the ring, and I'm gonna have them learn it, and then they can teach me.
There you go.
The little one already has it, man. The little one he sealed the heck out of that ring.
Yeah, he sure did.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But thank you, Johnny, for coming on again, man, and we'll see you soon.
All right, thank you. Have a great night, guys.
Yeah, you too, man. Appreciate you. Peace.
Oh man.
That was a great interview. That's how you start a season 3, man.
Yes, sir. I was gonna say the same thing. Took the words out of my mouth. Way to start the year. Um, Great interview. Uh, um, yeah, it was great, man. And I love that whole section because they bring fighters. They bring
Mm-hmm.
fighters, bro. Um, like the one we have sitting in the comments right now. This guy right here.
Our boy
Um,
Isaac.
hmm
Yeah.
and it's dope. It was dope to hear the story too, just how he just got slung into things and just adapted and kept it going. You know what I mean? And owned it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. There's so many fucking great fighters too coming out of Vegas, like Henderson and everything. I mean, here, especially what like seeing now that we're doing the broadcasting, it's cool to see like how it operates that from that side of things, and just the amount of support that the Vegas crew has. It's absolutely phenomenal. Not only that, but because of how much work they've been putting out here in the Valley, they got a growing fan base. Like True, for example, he was giving shout outs to all the guys out here in Phoenix because, bro, it's like it's just that great.
Yeah, and I mean, it helps that they all got good personalities. They all good dudes to be around and talk to and interact with as well, and it goes a long way. Um, Dope to know that he got accepted to be the coach for the U.S. team.
Yeah.
That is really dope. Um, I that's something to look forward to and kind of pay attention to and look out how that happens this year as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for 2024 because it's going to be, it's like we got UFC 300 coming up. There's so much more demand now, especially with everything going on in combat sports. And then in the Western side of things, now we're getting some California fighters coming up more over to Arizona. The market in Nevada is just filthy dense with the amount of amazing talent. And then here in Arizona, too, like, bro, the diversity of what we bring to the table as a state for combat sports is crazy.
Yeah, no, it really is. I mean, uh, I'm interested to see what these promotions bring to the table this year. Uh, I
Hmm.
see a lot of big things happening. Um, Interested to see what Ruff brings this year. They've been getting better every single year. PFA, I mean, them alone, what we've heard, we got MMA coming in March. February, we got another Muay Thai event. There's
Hmm.
just so much going on, and I'm interested. I'm here for it. We're taking this ride this year. Try to touch as many promotions as we can. Like I was saying, I want to get more into boxing. Um, so uh, look out for Elijah Garcia. We should be doing that interview here soon too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I wonder if we should tell the story of how that day went too or not. You don't want to spoil it, huh?
Nah, it's coming. Just know it's coming. When it comes, we'll tell the story. 'Cause
Yeah, yeah. We'll tell the story then. But yeah, no, it's really cool. It's just like looking back, like the end of 2022 is when like we first linked up and then we started working together. And that's when it was just everything was kind of sporadic, random, just trying to figure out where we fit in to the niche of combat sports. And then as soon as 2023 hit and then we're running through and everything. And it's just like, bro, it's been an absolute wrap.
yeah, no, you're funny, Josh. Hey, but that's another thing. We're not gonna be there anymore. Announcements coming soon. Stay tuned. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we're definitely moving locations. Definitely moving locations. So that's a very very good thing. No
Mm-hmm.
more half lit internet.
Right, bro. It was see, that's it's the what makes it so fascinating now with what we're doing, especially with broadcasting, is it's a whole nother element of like how much stuff we actually have to follow along, we have to do to take care of to make sure everything runs smooth. But at the same time, with us being able to do that, and then for what how much emphasis we put on supporting and benefiting the fighters the most, it's I'm trying to find the right word for it, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it's exciting. It's a couple of different things. It's dope, man. I really enjoy it. And just getting involved closer with each of the individuals. Um,
Mm-hmm.
getting to know them better, getting to kind of see how they tick and help them out where we can and what we can. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's a dope feeling, bro. Um,
Yeah.
and then also seeing the kids. I like
Yep.
to see because we've talked about that so much last year. And one thing that as the year went on, we saw a lot more kids involved, and you know, it's turned into my son wanting to be around it more, and you
Mm-hmm.
see the residual effect and the ripple effect it has, and the kids even sitting in the audience.
Yep. Yep, exactly. And now that leads to me to my question for you. What's your goal for 2024?
Outside of being more involved in boxing, 'cause I did say that was like one of my major things for 2024. Um, just be more successful with what we've turned, what we have, what we've built so far. I want to push this to the limits, um, and I want to push us to the limits more this year than we did last year. And I think we did a good job at it last year.
Mhm.
So just want to see what we're capable of, man. Balls to the walls till they fall off.
Mhm. Nah, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I definitely say I ain't spoiling anything on it, but you know exactly what I'm talking about to finally get it launched. So you guys stay tuned for the coming months with what's coming out. But not only that, just for us to diversify, to now start to build the team, multiple teams, getting everything that we need. And now it's just like a rinse, lather, repeat. So I definitely say my big goal is, like you said, let's push the limits more so than what was last year and really see what we're capable of.
Yeah, because you know, there's no limit of where we can go with this, and we've kind of seen that already.
Mhm.
And now it's just kind of just put it all together. Just I don't know. We're definitely doing what we needed to do, man, and it's starting to pay off slowly but surely.
Yep. Yep. All those late hours and editing and everything definitely coming to fruition. Like I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in. It's like we're up until 2 a.m. just editing. Like I think last night we did like 7 hours straight of just nothing but editing for the show, for ASAP and everything.
Yeah,
I see
no, I was.
Josh's comment. ASAP is going to be a household name in all AZ sports by the end of the year. I like that. That's a good goal. That's a
I
good
love
goal.
that,
We're
man.
going to achieve that.
And that's the other thing too. Kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Just like Josh just popped up. To have grown the way we have and to have added to the team, and now we have guys like Josh, guys like my brother, yourself. He's getting his cousin in, and it's more of a family nucleus thing, and that's always what I've wanted. I've always wanted to have been a close knit thing to grow that way, because it's who I am, you know.
Yeah,
That's
it fits perfectly. ASAP is by the people, of the people, for the people.
right, and it does, man. It really goes a long way. Um,
Mm.
what's your goal?
Ooh.
What's your main goal?
Oh, I already said my goal. All that I said before, that was my goal.
As a collective?
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty much the same thing. Like, to not only finally get what I've been talking about in the background, is to finally get it launched and actually public and just start getting to work on it, but just see we already cranked things up to like 9 or 10 and last year. Let's see how everything goes when we crank it up to 12, 13, especially to now going into the new year with the notoriety we have. It's going to be insane. So I really want to see, how about this? Cover a UFC event. That's my goal.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a
That'll
lot.
be my goal.
And we're gonna definitely do that. Last year we did some UFC post fights. Did a couple of those. We've done some Bellator. I'm actually interested in PLA this year. What's gonna happen?
Sure. Do you mean PFL?
Yeah. Shut up, Josh.
Just give you fans a little context. Just yesterday, he was referring to PFL as PLA. So I just thought that was funny.
I don't want to hear it. I don't even want to hear it.
Yeah, no, that'd be dope. I definitely I wanna cover event for LFA. I want to cover event for PFL. I want to even see if it'd be possible if we could go over to like Game Bread or even one championship. Fuck it.
Um, one championship would be a dope thing. That would
Mm-hmm.
be dope.
That'd be an overseas thing, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's why I said that would be really dope.
Mm-hmm.
That would be dope. So
Ooh. Season 3,
episode
episode 3.
3, we got our boy Bobby coming on. Don't miss this one. Obviously, you guys see this is episode 1 today, and that's 3. We have a special guest next week. We might as well just release that one too, huh?
I mean, if you want, we still gotta lock it down, make it a guarantee. But screw it. You want. I'll let you say the name. Say who we're currently booking to come on.
All right. So next week
Now, hold on. Let me
we
get a
have
drum roll.
special guest Kyler Phillips.
Let's go.
And then week 3, episode 3, Bobby Murphy.
Let's do it. And Kyler Phillips, he's got a UFC fight lining up. He's actually gonna be fighting on the same card as Sean O'Malley.
$299.
I think it's 299. Either 299 or it's like 290, like 297 maybe. But yeah, he's gonna be fight. I think he's part of the main card too. He's like the second or third fight of the main card. So that's gonna be
Yep,
fire,
Pedro
bro.
Munoz.
Oh, that's right. And Pedro Munoz just fought Marlon Vera.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. This is
That
gonna be a
really,
great one.
bro, it's gonna be dope. That's gonna be dope, especially too. I mean, Sean O'Malley, that's his teammate, but that'd be really cool. I want to see Kyler be able to get a title shot.
He's definitely gumping for it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this right here, I think Pedro's what, ranked 13th, something like that. So this will put
Yeah.
him up in the. This is the big fight, man. This is a big fight. We talked about it all the time. Arizona in that division, bantamweight division, is it's stacked. It's stacked.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about Mario Batista. Talked about Kyler Phillips. Talked about Marcus McGee. Talked about Sean O'Malley. Boy, that's one stacked division. That's just Arizona.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, it's freaking wild. There's so much top prospects out here, and there's just so much going on. It's insane.
Yep, UFC 299, March 9th, Miami, Florida. You got
Hey.
Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera, Dustin Poirier versus Benoit St. Denis, Gilbert Burns fights Jag Madalena, Curtis Blades is fighting Almeida, Peter Yan is fighting Song, Kevin Holland is fighting Michael Page, Pedro
Hey.
Munoz and Kyler Phillips, CJ Vergara versus Asu. Who else is super on this card? Michael Pereira versus Michael Olaschek. Dos Anjos is fighting Gamrot. Yeah, this is a stacked card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, 299 and 300. It's gonna be absolutely insane. Oh, Dustin Poirier versus Benit. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his
Benoit
last
St.
name, but
Denis.
yeah, Dustin Poirier and him, dude. Now I'm 50-50 on that one. I feel like something happened in a sense that Dustin for like 6 months now was expressing advocacy for him to be on the UFC 300 card. And now he's on 299 against a ranked 13 opponent when he's in the top 5. I don't know.
Thank you, Isaac. We appreciate you, sir.
We appreciate you, man.
Um, we talked about this a little bit. I kind of feel like Charles Oliveira pulled rank on that. Charles Oliveira is more of a comeback, up and coming, but I mean, you're right in a sense, like show a little bit of homage to my man Dustin. He's done his thing, and he's towards the end of his career, and he's
Mm-hmm.
always talked about wanting that big stage and how it would be dope to be on 300. So, I mean, Dana's an asshole. He definitely is. We've all known this, but business, and
Mm-hmm.
you can't be that upset because 299 is stacked.
Right.
300 might have the number, but 299 is stacked.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's gonna be wild. I'm definitely excited for 2024 because it's gonna be a lot of heartbreak, but we're gonna see a lot of uprising this year.
Yeah, no, there's gonna be some. I don't know. I mean, just the bantamweight, like we just said, just the bantamweight division alone. Over the next 3 fights, we're gonna see some clashes that are gonna be hard to watch.
Yep. I agree.
Either that, or we're gonna see some people move up out of the division.
That is true. They need to make more divisions, damn it.
I mean, yeah. They could. But man, any last words? Season 3, episode 1, 2024.
It was an absolute wrecking ball of a fucking fantastic interview. I'm excited for this year. And as always, peace, love, chicken grease to my peeps across the streets. I got bust a rhyme, capiche.
This dude is always on the go. Gas, break, dip. Yeah, man. again, thank you to Jonny. I really appreciate you coming on, allowing us to sit down and talk with you. It's a way to kick off the new year, way to kick off season 3. And outside of that, man, I can't wait to see what 2020 has in store. I'm excited. I'm glad we've kicked it off officially this week for throwing hands. And if you haven't followed us, please follow us. If you are following us, tell your friends to follow us.
And
And
not
then,
only that,
what?
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, remember the idea in regards to the followers? Did you want to go announce it?
Which one? Tell us, Josh.
I'm not going to spoil this. So for you fans out there, we're about to hit 1,000 followers on Instagram. So we are putting you on the spotlight. The first person or the person to hit the 1,000th follower, they're gonna get a special ASAP Throwing Hands shirt for that. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure, like he said, if you're following us, tell your friends to follow us. Whoever hits that 1,000 threshold, they're gonna win a shirt from us. So stay tuned and keep on checking that out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm Jay,
And I'm Josh.
and this is Throwing Hands. And we will see you guys next week. You know, it wouldn't have started right in 2024 for me not to have been ready with the sign off. But it just had to start off like that. You know how it goes, right?
Exactly. We gotta. We're compelled to.
Right.
Shanig, man. Fuck with ASAP Sports Network, man. Tune in, stay logged in, stay mouthed in. You dig? Yuck mouth. Yada da. Boy!
All sports, all plays, ball courts, pump fakes, crossovers, and some more. All sports, all plays, ballparks, home base, miss that speed by, that's 3 strikes. We know what's happening in the league. All sports, all plays, ASAP. Cause we know what's going down with your team. We'll bring you up to speed ASAP. Not talking about Rihanna's baby daddy, it's the network covering every play that's happening in the ring, on the field, on the courts, on the lane. We gon' cover the game, all sports, all play. All sports, all plays, ball courts, pump fakes, crossovers, and some more. All sports, all plays, ball